Aloha! Boris here from Best Flooring in Honolulu, a flooring store conveniently located at 1130 North Nimitz Highway in Honolulu, Hawaii, between Eagle Cafe and Redmond. Recently, we brought to Hawaii a new collection. It's called Kailua Collection for Why Not Plank Flooring, and it has a unique and amazing installation locking mechanism, and I've decided to dedicate this whole video to show you how those planks are installed and why those locks are so amazing. Here I have a sample of the locking mechanism, the 5G dry lock, on a smaller plank, so I can just explain you in details how everything works. Actual planks are different size, but the way the locking mechanism works is exactly the same. Same as regular planks, those planks have two sides, one with a big lip and one with a short lip. We put first plank facing with the lip toward the direction where we want to go, also leaving a 1/4 inch gap between the plank and the wall here and here. We're starting from doing first row, laying down the first plank. Second plank is gonna go in the same row. We line it up exactly the same as the first plank. We lay it flat, and all we need to do, we don't require any additional tools or glue or nails. We just push it down, and that's how the plank click in together. We continue this row for as long as the room or the area where you install is, and then we move to the next row. Normally, we don't want to put the same plank next to the first plank, because then this seam is going to be in the same place, which is against the installation rules. What we need to do is we need to make a little bit of spacing. So let's say I would cut a small piece from here and put it over here. So let's imagine it's over here. And then we start the second row. To start the second row, we angle click in with the long seam first plank. So let's imagine we have here like a small piece already installed, like that goes over here. And we lay it flat, making sure that this seam and this seam does not line up. Now here, where the magic begins. Normally, if you have an angle click in installation system, most cases you would click in this piece and then you need to push it in order for the flooring to click in, or start tapping in order to close this lock or this lock, depending where you started, like this or like this. If it's a drop-in system, then you would install long seam, lay it flat, and then you would start tapping to make sure that the lock clicks in, and then later if you undo it, it's already going to change its shape, so you would not be able to reuse the plank. Here, all we need to do is to angle click in with the long side force plank, push it towards the first plank in the second row, lay it flat, and then slightly press in order for the lock to go in its place and lock the plank. As you might have noticed, I didn't use any tools, I didn't use any glue, I didn't use any nails. And that's the beauty of this. The main advantage of 5G dry lock for installers is that this installation system speeds up your installation by approximately 30 to 50% because you don't need any tools. And if you're doing installation yourself, this simplifies for your installation as well, because you don't need to buy any tools and learn how to use those tools. In case if you did something incorrectly and you need to undo the locking mechanism, you would pull up the whole row, lay it flat, and then slide it out in order to release the locking mechanism. Now let's take a little closer how this system works. So this part with a long tongue has another like button or tongue that goes in and out, that is like flexible. So when you press it in, it goes in. When you release it, it goes out. In the same time, the second plank has a groove. So what happens is, when you lay this part flat with this inside tongue out, and you put this one on the top, and you press it, this piece pushes in the sticking tongue inside, and as soon as it reaches the groove on this plank, it goes back in and clicks in. Now, after we tried how this locking mechanism works on small samples, let's do the same but on actual planks. Here I have 4 planks from our new Kailua collection, which I just took out from the box. So let's imagine we have wall here, and my job is to install flooring this direction and this direction. I start from putting down the first plank near the wall, lining up with the wall, and then I prefer to use spacers because this way I can make sure that I have the proper gaps between the vinyl plank and the wall. Now, after the first plank is lined up, I take the second plank, and I just want to pay your attention that I have long lip over here, long lip over here. So long lips are always facing the direction where we want to install flooring. And now I take the second plank, and same way, long lip facing that direction. I line it up with the first plank. And click them in together. I want to pay your attention that compared to the samples that I was showing right now, installing actual planks, because they have a little bit more flexibility, can be a little bit challenging, especially on the first row. But as soon as you try 3, 4, 5 times, you're gonna get a hold of it, trust me. As you might have noticed, all I did is I laid this plank on the top of this, and I slightly pressed for the lock to click in. And also you can hear the click-in sound when it's installed properly. Now I'm going to put a couple spacers on this plank, make sure that it's properly lined up with our solid surface, in this case wall, and I'm going to move to the next row. Normally I don't want to put a full plank and then the next full plank again, because what's going to cause, the seams are going to line up, and this is breaking the installation manual. So normally I would put a full plank, then I would use like a 12-inch, 24-inch, etc., etc. I do apologize, I don't have a 12-inch of the same color, so I'm going to be using from a different color, not to cut new planks. So what we do on the next row, so let's say I finished my whole first row up until the wall, and now I'm moving to the next row. So I take a 12-inch piece, and I angle click in it with a short, lip, and I just lay it flat. I put a couple spacers, again to maintain the proper gapping from the wall. And now I take the full plank to start, to continue the second row. And what's happening? That's where the magic is happening. So I angle click in it with the long side, as you can see right now. Again, I don't have any tools, I don't have any glue, I don't have any nails. I lay it flat. So as you can see, because the planks are long, you need to make sure that it's properly clicked in all the way through. Otherwise it's going to be sticking up. And I slightly press the lock down. So same as with the previous plank, all I do, I put in the long seam, angle click in. Make sure, like you see, plank right now is kind of like floating there. The reason for this is because it's not fully clicked in, and in some places it was just loose, so I kind of pushed it forward, and now it's freely laid flat, and you can see the lock lined up. And all I need to do right now is just slightly press it, and I don't know if you can hear it, but there's like a click-in sound where the flexible tongue goes inside the groove and stays there. As you could see, installation of 2 rows took me a couple minutes, maybe less. Why? Because installation is very fast and very simple as long as you do it properly. Again, you don't need to use any tools, because if you start hammering those locks, there's a really good chance you're gonna break them. All you need is to properly align everything and then press it kind of like down in order for the lock to click in, and that's gonna make this floor stay and make sure that it works the way it should. Now let's say I did something wrong and I need to undo the installation. So my first step would be is to lift the whole row up, to disconnect the long row, which goes out pretty easy. And then in order to disconnect this lock, so as you can see, it holds pretty good. So in order not to damage the lock and reuse the planks again, I would need to slide it. As you could see, installation is simple and straightforward as long as you know how it's done. The biggest mistakes that I've seen that people do when installing this, it's instead of making sure that everything is lined up and straight and locks are locked tight and sit where they should be sitting, people start to using force and hammering down using like a tool, like some kind of tools like hammer, to make sure it clicks in. So that's not the way to do it. The whole idea of this locking mechanism is to make installation as simple, as fast as it's possible. Thank you for your attention. I really hope you found this video helpful. Please press like and subscribe button. This helps us a lot to make those videos. And again, Boris here from Best Flooring Honolulu Flooring Store, located at 1130 North News Highway between Red Wings and Eagle Cafe. And we're looking forward to see you in our store in order to help you make your dream flooring come true.